Hello everyone, this is Benjamin Krudwig from Benjamin Krudwig Fiber Arts and Design, and this is episode number 14 of the Fibercast. It's a knitting, crocheting, spinning, and weaving podcast. Today is Sunday, May 11th. Happy Mother's Day to everybody in the United States. We went and celebrated Mother's Day with my family this morning. And then Ariana is with her mom and her grandmother right now for a little lady time. So, yes, happy Mother's Day to all of you wonderful mothers out there. Thank you for being who you are. So, yes. It has been a somewhat productive week this week. I've gotten a couple of things off the needles. I have some new projects going. And I got something off the wheel this week too. It's been knitting weather this week. We live in Colorado, and if any of you know what Colorado is like, there's a phrase here that says, if you don't like the weather, wait 15 minutes. That's mostly true, but it's a strange world we live in, because last week it was very warm, very nice outside. The plants are all turning green. Everything's beautiful. Then from basically, I think it was Saturday until yesterday, which was Saturday, so a week, it was just rainy. Rainy, rainy, rainy. We got rain every single night. Every day, like all day long, it was just drizzling and rainy. The sun peeked out every now and again, but it's pretty much just rain. Yesterday evening, around 6:30 p.m., it started snowing. So we had one of our famous May snowstorms. It snowed about 4 to 6 inches, depending on where you lived. I know Denise from the Knitting Den podcast down in Castle Rock, she got at least 6 inches, and it looked like it kept snowing down there. So welcome to Colorado. And now I'm looking out my studio window, and there's a little bit of snow left. Most of it has melted, which caused a lot of wet streets. Very, very wet and sloshy. Our garden looks like it's been trampled, so hopefully it'll bounce back this week. I am drinking some tea today. It is called Country Peach Passion. It's from Celestial Seasonings, which is one of our local tea manufacturers here in Colorado. So it's one of my favorites. I really, really like it. It's a good caffeine-free. It's fruity, but it's not too fruity, which I appreciate. It makes really great iced tea. Okay, so I'm going to start with finished objects this week. I'll start with the first one I finished. And I am so happy I finished this. I love it. My Handbrake Cowl is done. Oh my gosh, I had so much fun knitting this pattern. For those of you who are new to the podcast, first of all, hello, welcome. I have been knitting this pattern, which is from Dan and Kay Jones from the Bakery Bears podcast. Dan was diagnosed with cancer last year, and as he underwent chemotherapy, he couldn't knit very much. So he and Kay came up with a pattern. They designed one together, and it was the Handbrake Cowl. So it's a really lovely pattern. It's mostly knit. There's a few sections on the top and the bottom are... since it's done in the round, it's knit purl, but it's garter. It's just basically a garter stitch. But most of it is stockinette with some purl bumps. I'm not sure if you can see them. My yarn is very dark, but you can sort of see it when I move it. You can see the purl bumps a tiny bit. I can see them very well here. But anyway, so the pattern, all of the proceeds go to cancer research. So it's a British pound, which is about $1.50 in US dollars. And it's a very worthwhile pattern. It was very quick to knit. It took me a little while because right when I bought the pattern, I had a trade show to go to and a lot of other stuff that was necessary to do. A lot of personal work knitting, if that makes any sense. But I loved knitting this. It's a wonderful pattern. The yarn is my hand spun. It was Fiber of the Month Club from Spunky Eclectic, a brown merino that was over dyed, and it's called Black Pearl. I love this. I have some of this left. You can see it's this beautiful brownie taupey, not taupey, brownie, brownish, bluish, greenish, grayish, blackish color. It looks like the hull of a ship. If I have enough of this, I want to knit, I just thought of this and I can't remember it now. Bankhead, haha. I think I might knit a bankhead hat with the rest of my handspun to go with my Handbrake Cowl. So a bankhead and handbrake duo, I think, would be fabulous. If I don't have enough of this, I'll do it for the body and choose something else for the headband part of the hat. Gosh, I am having noun difficulties today. Jeepers. Alright, so that was my first FO. The other one I count as an FO, even though it's a swatch. I've been doing some work for Anzula Luxury Fibers for TNNA, which is the National Needle Arts Association, for the conference that comes up at the end of May. Every year they release a couple of new yarns. This year they released a few, and my coworker is the one that usually does all the knitting and crocheting and the weaving of these, but I'm a little bit more advanced when it comes to lace. So she always gives me the lace weight yarn and I work on that. So I'll show you the swatch. This is blocked. This is just a mesh. It's a knit mesh. It's not my best work. But I wanted to do something that was relatively easy because I have a lot of other projects going on. So it's alternating rows, a purl return, but it's just knit two together, yarn over, repeated across, then a purl return, then yarn over, knit two together, purl return. And then you alternate those 4 rows until you're done. It's super easy. This is really light. I'm not sure how many grams are in this swatch, but it's not many. Not very many. I'm going to let Denise, who's my coworker, I'm going to let her weave in the ends. She has a very special way that she does it, and so I don't really want to cramp her style. So the yarn, sorry for the rustling, all of you using headphones, is called Meridian. It's their lace weight yarn that is, let's see, 55% tencel, 35% alpaca, and 10% nylon. And this particular colorway is Au Naturel. It comes with 812 yards, or 742 meters, per hank of yarn. So this is the front of the ball band. In the back. And it's a luscious yarn to work with. You can see the halo, maybe you can see the halo. If I held this up against a light, you could see that there's a really gorgeous halo. It's not overwhelming. I think the tencel kind of keeps the alpaca in check, but the alpaca just wants to fluff out. Beautiful. It's stunning. The drape is great. I have 3 skeins of this in an ombre pink. So I believe I'm going to knit a new shawl out of that. Very much like my Lady Sybil shawl. My Lady Sybil's shawl is crocheted, and I used Indigo Dragonfly for that yarn, and it's a lace weight. So I think I'm going to do something very similar, but different, a knit version. So I'm very, very excited to cast that on. I don't know when I'll do that. It'll probably be a while. It'll probably be the summer when I cast that on. So, yeah, that's a good way to segue into works in progress, because so I finished the knit swatch for Meridian, and now this is my crochet swatch. It's all squishy right now, but it'll block out pretty nicely. It kind of looks like skulls when it's stretched out, so maybe it'll be a thistle skull lace block. So yeah, I'm enjoying it. I prefer it knit. I prefer most lace knit, but that's all good. You know, crocheters need to have some lace too. So that's the first thing that, well, second thing really that's on my work in progress. But it's going faster than the knit. I'm a much faster crocheter than I am knitter. Whoop. I'm using a size D hook, which is 3.25 millimeters, and that is working just fine. It's probably a little bulky, but with crochet, I find that you actually have to use a larger hook than you do needle to get a nice loose gauge. So that is the first thing. That's my work in progress. The next one, you can hear. Okay. Bear with me here. So I am working on my own pattern. I'm working on a Tectonic Cowl. Aha! So I am in love with this color combo. I am crocheting this as a sample for TNNA for Anzula. I'm so sorry for the rustling. Oy vey. So this is the Tectonic Convertible Cowl by me. You can see the original one in this picture, which actually is just right in the corner here. And I am using Anzula Luxury Fibers Cricket, which is, I have the ball bands here. Okay, so the content of the fiber is 80% superwash merino, 10% cashmere, and 10% nylon. I've worked with Cricket before, and it, oh my gosh, it's so soft. It is so wonderfully soft, and there's a springiness to it because of the wool content, and it's soft because of the cashmere, but it's going to hold up to wear because of the nylon. So I think it's a perfect blend of luxury, silky smooth, and hard-wearing wool. I am done with the first 3 segments of the pattern, and I have 3 more to go. I'm currently in the 4th one. This is kind of like my snack knitting, or God, my snack crocheting. So it's something that if I get something done, like if I do something that I don't necessarily want to do, I reward myself by working on this. I'm loving it. So I'm redoing the pattern in this yarn because I used a yarn that they discontinued for the first one, called Sebastian, and it had a bit of sea cell in it, so it's made out of seaweed. And so now I'm just redoing it in Cricket, in a yarn that they carry still. I dug out some buttons from my button jar. So there's just these nice black buttons that are inset, 4-hole buttons. I'm going to do the border in a bright green, so these black buttons will really pop. So I'm very, very excited about that. Technical difficulties. It's in one of my project bags. Love this chevron fabric. And it has a bright green interior. And those can be found on Etsy, if you so choose. So that's one of my favorite works in progress this week. And then I didn't do a lot on this because I was good. This is my new cardigan pattern that I am working on. I've moved off of the yoke. Oh dear. Okay. And I'm now in the blue section, which is the body of the work. And I love this yarn. So I started in the white with the yoke, and I've moved into this light blue. It's kind of a sky blue that has these white little flecks. And I hand dyed this yarn a few years ago and used it in one project that sat around for 5 years, and I've decided to reclaim the yarn because I didn't like that other project. So I'm enjoying this very much. This pattern will come out eventually. My guess is that it's going to come out in June. So be on the lookout for a new men's cardigan pattern. It will be in sizes small, medium, large, and extra large. And it's meant for a fitted fit. So the way I'm working on it now is that it's 2 inches of positive ease. So that's the Craft Yarn Council determines that that is a fitted sweater. So it's going to be tight. So if you like your clothing loose, I would let you know, like, go up a size from what you normally wear. So that's all of my works in progresses. And I actually got some spinning done this week. Oh my gosh. So I had some bobbins just kind of chilling around from my spin-off article. So I didn't use all of my fiber or all of my singles in the plying that I did. So I decided to Navajo 3-ply 2 bobbins worth of, well, not full bobbins by any means, of some fiber. So I have a 3-ply here. It's about a DK to a worsted, or maybe an Aran weight. It's very much a thick and thin. Like, it's not that consistent. This is an Undyed BFL, and I got about 40 some odd yards, 48, no, 52 yards out of this one. Not a lot, so I'm not sure what I'll do with it. It might go in my ball jar. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see what I do with it. So that's this one. And then this one is so much fun. This is Garbera. This was another Fiber of the Month club from Spunky Eclectic Fibers. This is a Shetland. And I love how this is dyed. So you can see, you know, it's mostly this bright yellow and kind of a sun yellow. And then there are some little bits, okay, let's take it a little further back, of this mauvey color that moves into a crimson. So because I Navajo applied this will stripe. And I'm very, very excited about this. I got about 86 yards out of this one. So that'll get me pretty far on some sort of project. And I'll look around my stash and see what other hand spuns I have that I might be able to use with this to make a project. So yeah, that's my spinning. I want to do more spinning this week. I'm hoping that this week I'll get a lot more done. I'm actually thinking about starting a new shawl pattern that's been knitting itself in my head. And it's not on my board. This is what happens is I finish something, like I finish 2 things, right? Move something over from the idea to work in progress side. And then something that wasn't even in the idea side pops into my head. and I have to cast on immediately. Otherwise, it just gnaws at me and gnaws and gnaws and gnaws. So we'll see if I actually do it this week, because I really want to make sure that I am somewhat monogamous to my cardigan and that crochet swatch. The crochet swatch is going by pretty quickly, so I don't think I'm going to have problems with that. And I do want to cast on my second sock, my vanilla latte socks. So that would be nice to just keep my feet warm when it decides to be cold all of a sudden. So yeah, that's my plan. Hopefully I'll get all of that stuff done. Gosh, it feels like I just sped through that podcast, but I didn't do a lot of blather or talking through. It was a very focused podcast. Let's just put it that way. There were not any questions in the thread, so that's, nothing to talk about there. But I do want to remind people that this coming... my crochet hook for my pattern needs to go back with my pattern. So, 2 knit-alongs happening right now. The first one is the Mozart Mystery Knit-Along, and that is coming to a close this Wednesday. So officially, no more entries after this Wednesday. So if you are participating in the Mystery Knit-Along, make sure that you get any of your FOs in the FO thread for the Mystery Knit-Along for the Mozart shawl. I have 2 entries in there and 2 prizes. So right now, it'll basically be a coin toss. If not, there will be prizes for anybody else who enters. It'll be a random number generator sort of thing. So make sure that by this Wednesday, that's May 15th? 14th, May 14th. Make sure that you get your entries in. The other one that's going on until July 31st, and that's the Childhood Fiber Along. So that's any of the fiber arts. You can go to previous podcasts and also the thread that's in there. You can go there to get the specifics of the podcast, or of the fiber along. It's every fiber art, basically. So yeah, it's a project that reminds you of your childhood, or reminds you of childhood. And I want stories. There's something about hearing people's personal stories that really makes me happy. So I'd love for you to share your own personal stories of your childhood, what you liked to do, people that you hung out with, places that you used to visit, stuff like that. It goes until July 31st, which is the day after my birthday, and I will then do drawings the week after. Yeah, it'll have to be during that week, because my anniversary will be, let's see. I think my birthday falls in the middle of the week. So what I'll do is after the 31st, I'll draw on the 1st of August. And then the next time I podcast, which will be a Sunday or a Saturday, it kind of depends, then I'll announce them there, because the following weekend I will not have a podcast because it's my anniversary. We're probably going to go out of town somewhere. We haven't decided where. We have to look at our budget, obviously, and then decide what we want to do. So, yeah. Now, that's pretty much all I'm going to talk about today. It's a shorty today. We do have a Ravelry group, Benjamin Krudwig Fiber Arts and Design, so please head on over there and introduce yourself in the introductions thread, ask away in the Ask Me Anything thread, participate in the Childhood Fiber Along. That's all waiting for you I am waiting for you at my Ravelry group. I can also be found on Instagram and Ravelry as Benjamin Krudwig. You can find me as Benjamin Krudwig Fiber Arts and Designs on Facebook, and Google Plus. I'm also Benjamin Krudwig. On YouTube, I am BC Krudwig. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Every subscription helps. I surpassed 3,000 subscribers a couple of weeks ago, which made me really happy. Mostly people find me for my crochet tutorials, and if y'all stick around for a Fibercast or two, that's great. If you only know me for the Fibercast, that's also great. So thank you for subscribing. If you do, you'll get a notification immediately when I upload a video. So yeah, I don't want to ramble. I really don't want to ramble. So I will chat at all of you later. You enjoy yourselves this coming week. Hopefully it's warming up where you are, or if you're in the southern hemisphere, hopefully it's beautiful fall weather there and it's not getting too cold too quickly. But you can always break out your hand knits at that point. So yes, thank you for watching. Please come back again next week. And if I'll see you then, see you then. And if I don't, you will be missed. Have a great day. Keep on knitting. I'm just going to keep blathering until I shut this thing off.